The following program is intended for mature audiences.
What if you don't like it?
Howdy, nerds.
He'll still drink it.
I mean,
Welcome to the Cosmic Disasters Show. I am your not-so-humble host, Tommy D. And, hello. And this week on the Cosmic Disasters Show, we continue our salute to blerd culture as we dive into heroes and villains of color. However, we've been talking about space docking and all kinds of other stuff already. And scissoring. And so I think maybe we should delve into that a bit more as well.
I know a bit more about that.
I feel like that's the inner circle.
Okay, so we'll save that for the inner circle content. So, space docking and scissoring.
Next.
Yeah, I have lotion.
Oh.
You don't... All right, so... All right, so before we get started, let's go ahead and welcome all of our special guests. As always, we like to start in Discordia. And we've got Dan, who is a stand-up comedian and host of the Side Angle Wrestling Podcast. Welcome, Dan.
Welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us and for not
Very happy
waiving
to
all
be
of the
a part.
rules.
Snaps for Dan Brown, everyone.
Snaps
for Dan Brown.
Dig it, baby. Dig it. Jazz pop up in this bitch.
Whoop, whoop. So also joining us here in studio, we've got the very special Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike Ivy.
And Mike Ivy's also a stand-up comedian
Yes.
and host of the Fun Fact Podcast.
Yes, Fun Fact with Mike Ivy. Mike Ivy's Fun Fact Podcast. It's something.
And let me look at your business card. It is, it just says Mike Ivy's Fun Fact Podcast.
That's what I said.
There you go. All right, so be sure to check those out, please. It is the Fun Fact Podcast, Mike Ivy's Fun Fact Podcast, and check out Dan's podcast as well, Side Angle Wrestling Podcast, and lots of talented folks. And we actually kind of hit the jackpot this week because Jay Quellen, out of the kindness of her heart, so kind, she saw a weary stranger on the side of the road, I guess being clubbed over the head by surge prices from Uber, and decided to pick her up and bring her here, a stranger, into our home. But we couldn't have asked for a better stranger because she is the multi-talented Elle Stranger, which is also Spanish for the stranger.
La chupacabra. Oh.
So Elle is she is the brilliant mind behind the Nebula Conflicts blog. So be sure you check that out. She's got a Facebook dedicated to Ben Solo called Rise of Ben. She's TikTok famous. And she also hosts a podcast called the Mythic Mishaps Podcast. So welcome one and all.
Bravo.
Welcome one and all. And our usual cast of misfits, we've got Radio Bitch.
What's up?
Jay Quellen is here in the studio with us. Zag. Yeah, I don't know. And from the far outer rim territory of Boston, via Discord, it is the one and only Daddy Louie.
You're great.
Hello, children.
Welcome.
Y'all have superhero names. You all have superhero names.
Well, so do you.
What,
I don't
Mike
think
Ivy?
Daddy Louie is a superhero name.
No, that's
Radio
something.
bitch is not.
That's something different.
It
That's
could be though.
Jay
Well,
Quellen.
that's true.
Jay Quellen. That's
It's not a superhero name.
Jay Quillen.
But you are Elle Stranger.
Elle Stranger,
Elle Stranger.
which is Spanish for
the
stranger.
My
All
name
right.
is Elle Stranger.
El Stranger. El Stranger. How do you say stranger in Spanish?
I come to make love to you.
I don't know.
Wait,
That's Dad.
You're Puerto Rican
Elle, you're
and
Mexican.
she's
How do you
Mexican.
say
So how?
Stranger.
El Stranger.
The Stranger.
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 Okay, Google.
Right. All right.
How about, does Louis know how to say it?
No, he can't.
Yeah, Louis Puerto Rican too.
I am Puerto Rican.
And
yes.
how do you say stranger in
He
Spanish?
doesn't know.
Stranger in Spanish.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wait a second.
Really?
Yeah.
¿Cómo te llamas?
No, there's.
I cannot say that.
Mi nombre es...
Descondosita.
Oh, descondocito.
Descondo.
Something like that.
I like El Stranger.
Me too.
That's
But
Me too.
descondo means like Cover and hide. Ooh.
Like duck and cover.
Mystidioso.
Mystidioso. All right.
Limpiador.
Maybe she should be Elle
The
Duck and Cover.
translation, anyway.
Elle Duck and Cover.
El Duque y Cover.
Guiado.
Ooh,
You got-
dookie. No, that sounds
Donkey
gross.
cover. No?
Sounds like a sexual position.
Las cucarachas entran, pero no puedo
Puedo
salir.
salir.
There you go. Thank you, Ren and Stimpy, for teaching me all the Spanish that I know. All right, let's do the Geek of the Week. And this week, usually I'll go in with a little bit, being a little bit silly. However, our Geek of the Week for this week, he actually passed away in 2011, so he's no longer with us. He is being posthumously awarded the Geek of the Week, and this is Dwayne McDuffie. So if you are not aware of who he is or his existence, Dwayne was an American writer of comic books and television, known for creating the animated television series Static Shock, and writing and producing the animated series Justice League Unlimited, as well as Ben 10, and probably more importantly, he was the co-founding and pioneering man behind the minority-owned and operated comic book company Milestone Media. If you're not aware of Milestone Media, they have done a lot as far as representation of people of color in comics, especially. He's been awarded the Eisner Award 3 times, nominated 3 times for his work in comics. In the early 1990s, he wanted to express a multicultural sensibility that he felt was missing in comic books. So himself and his 3 partners founded Milestone Media, which the Plain Dealer described in 2000 as the industry's most successful minority-owned and operated comic book company. Dwayne McDuffie, we salute you. Well done, sir. And Milestone Media is actually still up and running and doing their thing, and that is something that we are very, very happy to support. So what we wanted to talk about this week was heroes and villains of color. And specifically, like, my thing is villains of color. I mean, I just like villains. I'm just into, like, bad guys anyway. And I just wanted to get everyone's take on this sort of thing. Like, do you have a favorite hero or villain of color?
Denzel Washington in Training Day was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not super nerdy, but I'm just trying to think of, like, really, really good villain played by...
See, and it's hard.
Does it have to be African?
It's hard.
Just black? Like,
No.
what's...
It's anyone who is not white folk.
Okay.
Basically, because it's hard to find. Now, if you go into the Milestone Media universe, I mean, everyone there is represented. So
Does Italian count?
here's-
Is that...
yeah, it's
a joke, isn't it?
No, no,
Italian Spider-Man?
not
No?
at all. Of course, everybody knows about Black Manta, Killmonger. I mean, these are
Yeah.
recent.
Wait, Black Manta's black? I just...
Yeah,
I guess I...
learn something new every day, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You always had the
I knew
helmet
a
on.
thing.
You knew a thing. I like Ursula. She's purple.
Mm.
Is O.J. Simpson? Is he...
I think OJ counts. I think
But the glove
villain?
didn't fit.
It's too soon.
He did. He didn't.
The
OJ
glove didn't fit. You
He
must
wrote a
have quit.
book. He did. He said he didn't do it.
You must have quit.
Obvi.
no, he did. He did. But
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
throw something out at you guys here,
Throw it
and
out.
I don't know how big you guys are into pro wrestling.
Okay.
But if you guys are not, I suggest you go into your computers at home, type in Ron Simmons wins the WCW championship. He was the first African American to win the World Heavyweight Championship back in 1992. He beat Vader. He was the good guy.
What?
And if you could just watch that, you tell me you don't feel anything. I don't think you have a pulse, because I can still watch that to this day. And the electricity through all the people who were there that evening, who were just so excited, who were on the Ron Simmons bandwagon at that point, they were just getting behind him. I know he's not a comic book guy, or I know he's not a comic book character, but I think of him as a true African American hero.
nice.
Okay.
Nice. Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, wrestling, I mean, you are portraying a character.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
You know, I
so
mean,
fun.
You are portraying a character. So I think that absolutely counts. Especially when you're talking about, heroes and villains of color. I've got to throw out Doom. A lot of people don't realize that at one point, there was a Wakandan woman who took over the mantle of Dr. Doom himself. Her name was T'Challa, and she's the sister of T'Challa and the daughter of T'Chaka. Born in Wakanda, and she was in the line of the royal family of the Black Panthers, and she kind of faced off with T'Challa to try to rule Wakanda over the years. She was defeated, left for dead. She was kicked out of Wakanda, ended up in Latveria, of course, the home of my boy, Dr. Doom, my man. And she was already really into magic, and so Dr. Doom took her in under his wing. She surpassed him.
Holy shit.
Surpassed him. Whooped his ass, which does not happen often.
He kind of needs it sometimes.
Actually, with Dr. Doom, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But Doom is powerful. Dr. Doom is no joke. He is no joke. He's one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe. But
his ego usually gets in
his ego. It's his ego every single time.
Yeah.
But
you fools can't defeat me.
And then they end up doing it
every time.
but T'Challa took him down. She had a sword called Doombringer. She fucked up Iron Man, fucked up Captain America. She whooped a lot of ass. But again, her ego got the best of her, and she ended up getting run through by her own Doombringer sword. Sadly. Sadly. Wow. So, which kind of brings me to another point too. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the Nerdyverse as far as, new movies coming out, new cartoons, new animated series. There's all of this, wonderful, wonderful backstory. Do we think that we need to maybe dive into that a little bit? I mean, what do you guys think? Should we be dipping into that? Should there be a movie with T'Challa in it?
I think that would be
black
very
female
empowering.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That would be really fun, I think.
Yeah.
I would watch it. I think that would be fucking cool.
Elle Stranger over here, once I picked her up on the side of the road, was telling me about Black
Manta?
Manta.
Yeah. Yeah.
That whole backstory is really super interesting.
Curing his autism and then going crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What?
Yeah,
That's fun.
because when he was younger,
It's a good time.
that's why he was in Arkham Asylum. Was they were trying to cure him of autism, and all the
I didn't know they had
experience.
autism back then.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was like a newer.
Just
kinda,
new, brand new. Yeah.
No.
I mean, I've only heard about it in the last 10 years.
Oh, okay.
It's more talked about, but it's
Right,
been
that's
out
what I mean.
forever.
Yeah.
They're more
Yeah.
able to identify.
Right. That's
But
what I mean.
yeah, Black Manta. They did experiments and stuff to try to cure him of autism, and it just ended up making him super violent. So
And crazy.
yeah.
Man,
And
sucks.
he all there's something I'm not sure what storyline because they're all, but he had this idea that there was not enough black representation in the ocean world, and that's why Aquaman was
I've been
his
saying this for
enemy.
years. Other than Red Lobster, there's
Exactly.
that's all we got.
But that was his thing, was to he had to defeat Aquaman to have representation in the ocean, which I thought was fascinating.
But Red Lobster, though, that guy was a jerk.
The Red Lobster.
That guy was an asshole.
That is
So,
horrible.
Discordia, what about you guys? I mean, it's kind of quiet in Discordia. So, representation in, not just comic, but in, in film. And I'm Dan, I'm glad you brought up wrestling as well. Because that's...
Well, I could talk all day about wrestling, so I...
Well, and that's fine, because, again, it's... we wonder, we've got heroes of color. Not as many as we need to have, or we should have, but villains are few and far between.
That's true.
Why is that?
You are right.
I mean, why is that? Why are the villains so few and far between? What do you guys think? Is it a cultural thing? Are we afraid to make people of color the bad guys? Is that It's like I'm not. And
I think that does have.
I'm a
lot to
comic
do
book
with it.
creator. I've got this really awesome idea for a bad guy, and he's black. But oh man, I really shouldn't do that.
I think it's a thing of like comic book creators being kind of like sympathetic to victims in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't want to say black people are victims, but you know, there is that victim. You know,
Victimology.
Yeah. It's you know, it's part of the whole story of the recent story of black people in America. So it's like it comes up and it's like better not even tread there. And a lot of you know.
Okay, I would even say today in like 2020 with cancel culture being where it's at right now, the idea of making any villain somebody of color right now in comic books. I mean, I think right now you're just asking for some kind of controversy.
Oh my God.
That'd be awesome.
Whether that be right or wrong.
Never do it.
I mean, I don't know.
Never
But
do it. Not right now. Maybe in 10 years.
maybe 2030.
Yeah, then they'll be begging for it because then all those kids will be like super Republican.
So are we not ready? Are we not ready to have more villains of color?
I'm
I
ready.
think
ready.
we've
Everybody.
been
I'm
more
ready.
ready than we've ever been, but it's just getting the right people to listen and do it
I think we're
in
at
a
a point
proper
now where we
way.
don't have to make it like a thing. Like we could just make the character good and then just have Michael B. Johnson. That's his name, right?
Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Jordan.
I don't know. I don't like him because he looks better than me. But
Oh,
With all those mosquito bites, really?
yeah, still.
still a babe.
You ever seen Seal with his shirt off? It's glorious.
That is true. It's weird though
It
because his
doesn't
face
matter.
is not right. But
Seal
Right.
is a sexy
Yeah.
man.
but it's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I think it's interesting because I'm like thinking of villains of color, and I think of a villain back from like the 60s who was black.
Bill Cosby.
No, that was the 80s. I was gonna mention that too. Lots of blood pops. No, Catwoman used to be black, but isn't anymore. So why was it okay then, and why did they make her white? But wasn't it also
I mean, in all
Halle
honesty,
Berry?
back in the
So,
60s,
like,
70s,
Eartha
whatever,
Kitt, Halle
people
Berry.
didn't care if the black
Halle
person
Berry
was
did
the villain.
Yeah.
She played Catwoman.
If they did care, nobody cared what you thought.
Like you had black
But-
people villains, but it was always like you jive turkeys in around here.
But
Yeah.
with Catwoman in particular, that was like sexy, mysterious. And not necessarily. It was like
Yeah.
a
But why
fetish.
is that a villain who can be so interchangeable when all the other ones are like, this character has to be this and this character has to be this? Catwoman has been both, and it's not a big deal.
I've
Well,
always
they've
thought-
actually a lot of characters. I was looking up, Hispanic characters. I know this is the black episode, but
It's not the black episode. I mean, it's
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Episode?
the black
The black
episode.
episode. No, I'm
The
just kidding.
blebisode.
The blurred.
It's the blurred episode.
No, so I looked up some, and there's one Miles Morales.
Sure.
He was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Where's the Puerto Rican heroes and villains?
Zorro.
Where's he at?
Zorro was
Yeah.
Mexican.
Nacho Libre.
American
No,
Chavez.
I'm kidding.
There you go.
But yeah, he was half Puerto Rican. So
So he was Puerto Rican.
he was Puerto Rican like me. So I
Puerto
thought that was
Rican.
pretty interesting when I looked it up. Yeah, I call myself Puerto Rican. And then you got America Chavez,
Yeah, that's what.
Miss
Yeah,
America.
Daddy Louis just
Instead of-
mentioned her.
He did. He did. So, and then I got the Green Lantern, and his name was Robbie Reyes. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
See, the Green Lantern Corps, that's
He
such
could be
it's
anybody,
a cheat
right?
code. That is just like a racial.
Literally.
It's a racial cheat
It's
code.
like,
They literally just got one
So-
from everybody. Yeah. they
It's
did.
like if someone starts screaming about diversity, we've got the Lantern Corps. I mean,
Sure.
they've got everybody.
Is there an Asian?
Shit, we found another ring. What are the odds?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's pink. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I thought those were interesting for the Latin community.
So I mean, clearly,
Latin Spider Woman. There's
there was an evil black Spider Woman.
That sounds
In an alternate
Widow?
universe.
What's that?
Black Widow? Did they call her Black Widow?
No, she was Spider Woman.
Spider-Woman.
Yeah, she
No,
was.
there's
Just,
a musical
Oh, okay.
about that, Kiss of the Spider Woman.
is it a Marvel production, or is it something?
Maybe
different?
it could
so.
be.
No.
I don't actually
That
know
could
it. I just know there's a musical called
Echo
Kiss of the Spider
I
Woman.
think that's an Echo and the Bunnymen song.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But
No,
that's
that's. I
okay.
think that's The Cure. The Cure had
the
Cure. It was when the Spider-Man comes or something like that.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm
my
actually
favorite.
starting here. Just want to feel sad and drink.
right.
When you listen to The Cure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel happy now because it's like, man, I'm not a teenager anymore. Hormones suck.
I was into the Cure too, but I can't afford Guy Liner anymore. I
Yeah.
can't.
You
It's,
can't
it's,
afford Guyliner
I can't
anymore.
afford Guy
Pretty cheap.
Liner.
I have some.
It's pretty cheap. Get you some Wet and Wild.
No,
$1.99.
no,
We're bringing it back.
no, not the stuff that I
You
used
can go to the
wear.
Dollar
That
Tree and
was
get
good
that. It's
shit.
fine.
So, Louis, what are your thoughts on all this stuff? You've been quiet over there too. What's
I
going
haven't
on?
heard that in years.
So I mean, as far as like
my
African American villains, the first thing that I would want to note to everyone is Michael B. Jordan. His rendition of Killmonger was outstanding. Easily the
Really good.
best MCU villain that we've had to date. Period. He just did an excellent job portraying the character, and but over the years there have been great actors who have been able to portray a good guy and then change their role to play a bad guy, but you don't hear about too many that did it the other way around. So like for example, Denzel Washington was mentioned in his character in Training Day. That movie is awesome because of his performance, and he did such a good job playing a bad guy. But up until that point, we hadn't really seen him as a bad guy. He was always in hopeful movies, and he always played, the good character and stuff like that. So then you came to this movie, and it was like, oh my gosh, Denzel Washington is in an R-rated movie, and he's a bad guy. And not only is he a bad guy, he's a really good bad guy.
Yeah.
The same thing with like Samuel L. Jackson. Like when he first started acting, he didn't play, bad guys. But then you look at like Unbreakable and Glass. He played a great bad guy in those movies.
God, you know who's really good?
So
And then Morgan Freeman plays God in everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but I
he
think
is God
Morgan
at this
Freeman
point.
could play a bad guy.
Oh yes, he could.
Really?
That would be awesome.
Really? Well, but do we
yeah,
do we
he totally
want
could.
him?
I kind of
Yes.
Do we want to see him?
Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
scary.
Need it.
I think he could
Did we want Robin Williams to play a bad guy? No, but when he did play a bad guy, holy shit,
Yeah.
you were scared to death. Like,
Yeah.
It was really weird when he did it.
Yeah, what was that 1 hour photo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Holy
didn't
cow.
like
I haven't
it.
seen that.
I didn't like him like that.
Like Morgan Freeman could
But
be
Morgan
like
Freeman would be
He'd be a
awesome.
Bond villain. Like he'd be like, oh no, Mr. Bond. Oh, you've come here.
So cast him. Let's cast him. Let's cast him in a comic book movie.
A comic book movie?
Yeah, let's cast him in the MCU. What do we think? I mean, but we're talking obviously because here's the thing too. We don't, in my opinion, I don't think that we need to cast people of color in traditionally white roles. I think people of color, we need more characters of color. I think
Right.
we need more black heroes. We need more black villains. We need more, Hispanic and Latin Asian villains to make that belong to the culture. If that makes any sense.
No, and I know
I
you
could
say
see
that,
Morgan Freeman like playing a gangster, like a badass gangster.
like in one of the. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
he would be
Yeah.
great.
I can see that.
Like in the Jessica Jones series
Yeah,
or
the
something like
series.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Or
oh my God.
or an older Doctor Doom who's getting ready to pass the mantle on to a younger Doctor Doom. Imagine. I don't want to use Michael B. Jordan in every example I give, but let's just imagine for a second where you have a movie where you have an older Morgan Freeman who was Doctor Doom, and he's kind of like the whole old Batman or old Bruce Wayne passing the mantle on. Imagine
Yeah,
Morgan
yeah.
Freeman
Yeah.
as an old Doctor Doom passing the mantle to like a Michael B. Jordan to
Yes.
become like
It's
your
like
Doom.
I always say, you either
Absolutely.
get busy killing or you get busy killing. What about Tracy Morgan instead of Morgan Freeman?
I love Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
There's
That would be awesome.
there's
I'm gonna get the Avengers pregnant.
I'm gonna take him behind the high school and get them pregnant.
There's a character called the Bushmaster. I could see Tracy
Oh my
Morgan
God.
as playing the Bushmaster. He's like a snake type character. But I think for Morgan Freeman, there's a character by the name of Moses Magnum. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
No, but-
Moses Magnum is
He goes from God to Moses.
from God to Moses. But he fought Spider-Man. He fought the Punisher. He's like all about weapons and technology.
Oh, okay.
He's constantly trying to take over Wakanda. But I think that
And
he's
perfect.
Yeah. Mastermind?
Yeah.
I
Your
think
name
that
is
would work.
perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Morgan
we-
Freeman could do that.
Moses
sure.
Magnum.
Yes.
Moses Magnum.
And I do have a question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Sure.
Has there ever been a black Joker?
No.
Because I think that would be awesome.
I do have a goal. The one, I don't know if it ever. I'd like to be the Black Riddler.
Oh.
I think that'd be really cool.
You could do it.
Yeah.
I think you could pull it off.
See, I don't want to see a black Joker.
I do.
I want to see a psychotic black character.
A different character. I know what
Yes,
you mean, new
yeah.
character.
But
A new
I'm just
character.
saying,
Yeah.
I understand that you want a new character, but I think that would be fun.
But then, all right, so let's do that. Let's cast the Joker. Let's cast the Joker as a person of color. Discord, what do you guys think? What's your pick? We're casting the Joker, and it's gonna have to be someone that's not Mark Hamill because he is the god of Joker.
Well, yeah,
So, but
All right.
Dan, Louie, what are you guys thinking?
I got like.
Oh man,
I'm trying to look up the guy's name real quick because I
Who-
can't remember.
What? I kind of like think either Denzel Washington. I think Denzel could pull it off.
No.
But he's
He could, but I don't like
maybe
it.
maybe not comedic enough.
Yeah, he's very serious.
What's the guy that plays Blade?
Don't you wave your Dorito around like
I do what I want.
Wesley Snipes.
Have you met me?
Wesley Snipes.
You know,
Yeah.
you know who I think?
He was
And,
great as a villain in New
I
York
don't
City.
know the guy's name. I'm going to have to look it up here. It's whoever plays Randall on This Is Us.
I haven't seen This Is Us. I have no idea.
Yeah, he also played.
Should I look it up?
Oh god, he also played the black attorney for the city of Los Angeles in that O.J. Simpson TV show with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, that Cuba
Let me look at the
Gooding.
guy's name.
Cuba Gooding. He's already crazy.
No.
Uh,
That would be weird.
back me up. Oh,
I
Sterling
don't
K.
like
Brown.
him.
Who is it?
Just generally.
What's his name,
I don't
Dan?
like him as an actor. I just don't.
Oh, okay.
Sterling Sterling.
Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K.
Sterling
Okay.
K.
As the Joker?
Last name Brown.
How about Chris
I could
Tucker?
see that.
Just because I have not seen anything that I don't love that guy in yet.
Okay.
What about Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker?
How about Chris Rock?
He was amazing as what
This is the guy he's talking about.
Ruby Rod.
Yeah, Ruby Rod. Yep.
That's who he was talking
I know.
about.
In,
Okay.
the Fifth Element.
I know. I've seen.
Yeah,
him.
he's kind of
been
crazy.
vampire.
He
and
plays
stuff.
kind of crazy
He's
pretty
been in
well.
vampire.
Idris
Yeah.
Elba. He could be a great villain.
Idris Elba would just be good at everything.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
sure.
he is just good at everything.
Has he been a villain? He was
Okay,
Sandra Bell.
but
That's right, he
like,
was Sandra
okay,
Bell.
so you
Yeah,
said person
yeah.
of color, right? So how about we talked about him earlier, John Leguizamo.
John
As
he
the
could do
Joker?
anything. He could definitely do it. He has the talent to do it for sure.
I mean,
He's
he
just as good.
he nailed the Violator.
Yeah, he's just a little too much sometimes. That's
He's
the
a
only
lot.
problem with him.
I loved him in
Just
Tu
his,
Wong Fu
stand-up,
a
that's all.
lot.
But that might be okay
Yeah, but you need
that's-
someone that can
for the
be...
Joker. You know what I mean?
Fucking, yeah, that's the point of Joker.
Oh, what are you thinking?
Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
Oh.
But I also want to throw out, why don't we have a female Joker?
Okay.
Color.
Oh, yeah.
Caster.
You know what?
I feel Harlequin
There
is
was actually
already-
a situation where we can have that.
Probably could have a great character.
In the Flashpoint Paradox.
It's almost too good.
What, having
You
a,
guys know
a
about
female
that
Joker?
story.
Yeah,
But
when
the
Martha Wayne
Flash-
becomes the Joker.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
color.
heard of that. Well, you know.
I just saw a rainbow in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Martha Wayne.
Martha becomes the Joker, and then
Tilda
Thomas
Swinton?
becomes Batman.
Tilda Swinton is the Joker? Is that a little too
Oh.
on point?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I am a little hot. That is pretty hot.
I know. The heat. We closed the.
Is it?
No, I
Oh,
mean, like,
so what
Well,
about
like,
for for a black male actor for the Joker? What about Keegan Michael Kay from Kay and
I can see
Peele,
him being
the tall,
crazy.
scrawny, bald guy?
I can see him getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard to see him not like
don't know.
actually happy, like, but it would be weird if he actually tapped into.
I mean,
something.
he's played so many different roles. I feel like he has the acting talent to be able to pull something like that off.
Not to.
It looks weird right now, but I bet you if he actually did it, he could pull it off.
Pulling off.
But right now, it's like you just see him goofy with that goofy fucking smile.
Not to like throw off on a tangent and whatnot, but I'm not the biggest DC nerd. What's with the Joker and everyone's fascination with the Joker?
I just love him
he's the best
crazy.
villain ever.
Why?
I concur.
I just love him. I don't know.
It's kind of like when you go so crazy that you start laughing. It's like a mixture
he's a
between-
broken man
he can't
who
eat
just
his
doesn't
own
care.
Order.
But I only like certain Jokers.
Yeah.
Like I don't like all the Jokers.
He's relatable. I mean,
So-
he's relatable, and to a certain extent.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
There was the line in The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker, where he said, was it insanity is like gravity? I think
All
something
it
like
needs
that.
is a little push.
All you need is just one push, and I believe in the comics the Joker has told Batman, you're one bad day away from being me.
Oh yeah.
I plan on getting that tattooed on myself one day, actually.
Yeah.
Why do I want to see like Forrest Whitaker as the Penguin?
Whoa.
Just take our money right now.
Oh,
Cobblepot.
Jake Quellen.
That's
good casting.
That's good.
That's good casting.
You should do that.
Oh, Whitaker is. Oh,
I'm really good at casting.
You put the monocle right over the eye.
yeah, he's already got the fucked up eye. Just put the monocle
I
on
mean,
it.
I pick up random people off the street. See how good I am?
Oh yeah.
Look at you.
Every now and again you'll say something. Really
Can I be in that movie then?
I think you should.
Oh,
It
man.
would be me and Forrest Whitaker.
Now I'm
Penguin.
thinking about it. That's a good casting.
Make
Yeah,
that
that's
happen.
not bad at all.
That's a really good casting. I mean, I said I don't, I want new characters,
I know,
but I mean, that's a good
But if we
casting
just did a
choice.
whole like reverse, like
universe.
You might be onto something there, Jake
You
Quellen.
know who could be a good villain?
And just earlier today, I was calling you a racist, but look at you. That's
You know who
Then
could be a
maybe-
good villain is Rihanna.
Oh yeah.
You remember that video where she
Oh.
bitch better have my money? Remember that video? She was a little scary in that.
Okay. She'd
Rihanna.
be like Fish.
She could be
Fish
like,
Mooney, yeah.
She'd be like
She
Fish.
could hang with my
she
girl
could be
Valkyrie.
Catwoman Or,
Oh.
Yeah, she could be Valkyrie. She could be any
We
number.
definitely need more Fish Mooney. We need more
I
Fish
love
Mooney
Fish.
or more characters like Fish Mooney because that was such a
I mean,
good
that bitch
character.
is awesome.
And
I mean, I think
Pinkett
Jada
Smith,
Pinkett does a good job in.
Holy shit.
oh yeah, Jada Pinkett.
Oh my god. What is she's she's
I liked.
wonderful.
It was Rihanna was in Ocean's 8, right? I liked her character a whole lot in that.
Yeah.
Was it Ocean's 8 or 10?
No.
8, I'm
Was
Was
pretty
it 8?
sure.
I don't know.
8 is the female one.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
It's curves.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I never noticed
I will
that.
never forget now.
No, I will never forget it.
Elle
Okay.
notices the curves.
I never noticed curves. I'm just oblivious, so I don't know.
That is not true.
What?
That is not true.
All right, so that's going to do it. That's going to wrap the show up.
Oh.
We're going to head over to the Inner Circle. And if you are not a member of the Inner Circle, it's very easy to join. Head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Circle of Nerds. And you can join us. And what are we talking about this week in the... I don't know. I got nothing.
Something.
Bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Bunch of shit.
yeah.
So are you are our guests going to be joining us in the Inner Circle, or you guys got to bounce? You got to take off? Or
Good for a little
Well,
bit.
that's her ride, so she's not
Zero
going
things.
anywhere.
Oh, you're
to
here.
do.
Dan, what about you? You
So
going to stick
drunk,
around?
so-
I think I might stick around for that.
All right, good deal, good deal.
All right.
All right, we get a little bit
All right,
more,
nerd.
little more saucy in the Inner Circle.
We were
Just-
pretty saucy. I don't
Were
know.
we?
Yeah.
We weren't saucy. This
Yeah, you already missed the sauce.
we were pretty
Wear your
informative.
socks
I
on.
thought.
She was drunk.
All
when
over
she-
Why
the
are they-
couch
because
again. The sauce.
Weird human being. And they also have like these marks
Because they're
because
both on inside out.
my shoes are they've got holes in them.
Okay.
So I've got
But you like the
stains
shoes?
in my sock.
But you like the
Wow.
I would always like new shoes, but here
shoes?
I
No,
am.
you like these shoes.
Oh yeah, I love that.
All right, so next week we're going to continue our month-long series of blurred history and blurred culture, and we're going to be talking about Afrofuturism. So I think that is going to be a pretty fun show. If you know
So
anything
bring your
about
picks.
Afrofuturism, not like that, not like a.
I thought
like
that was a joke. I'm
it was
just
it
making
was-
a joke.
Yeah, it was, here,
I'm trying to impress the stand-up people. No? Was that
All right, so I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you to our in-house crew. Dan, thank you. Mike, thank you. Elle Stranger, thank you very much for joining us this week.
You're very welcome.
And don't forget, check out all of their amazing podcasts, which are most certainly better than this one, without question. You've got Dan's Side Angle Wrestling Podcast, Mike's Fun Fact Podcast, Mike Ivy's Fun Fact Podcast, and, of course, the Mythic Mishap Podcast, available wherever podcasts are bought and sold and traded, yes?
Think so.
We hope so.
Did you just bring do you have a random box of Legos that you bring with you? Like,
I think there's
Oh, that's his logo. Look.
Oh, shut up.
okay, that's super nerdy. I love it.
I don't know. Maybe I think I might have to reverse it. I don't know.
All right, well, I'm going to pretend like I'm zooming in, but I don't have that capability.
So cool.
Whoa, that's amazing. Thanks, you, Mr. DeMille. Close up.
All right.
Whoa.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to head over to the Inner Circle, and as always, thanks everyone for joining us. And remember, if no one does anything nice for you, do something nice to yourself, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye.